Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. It's going to be a Terran versus Protoss on the map Dreamcatcher. I'm excited to cast it. I feel like it's been a while since I really cast a good Terran versus Protoss, so I'm really looking forward to this one. We had a crazy game with this guy that I cast recently versus Blaya, Terran versus Zerg. And that was just absolutely excited, so I thought, I gotta cast another game with this guy in it. Spawning down the bottom, or in the top left-hand side of the map, it is Wind and Rain souL, the Polish Terran, one of the best European Terrans out there, just very high up on the ladder. Plays some incredible games, but then his opponent, no slouch, spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's DnS for Cascade. Basically, souL and DnS, as far as some of the players in the Starcraft 2 scene, two of the most underrated players, in my opinion. souL just incredibly high level, and same goes for DnS. So we'll just have to see how this TvP between them is gonna go. DnS moves on in with his probe, making sure that there's no proxy shenanigans. Also abuses a few SCVs, but we'll just have to see how these guys are gonna play their game. Looks like it will just be standard, you know, sort of expo builds coming out of both of them. DnS's probe is coming back. He wants blood. So another SCV pulled off the line. Protoss players just sort of mastering being a nuisance with their workers here. But that probe will eventually head on out. It may try and dive back in later, but it does look, yeah, it looks like DnS is keeping it around. He knows the exact timings, so as soon as the Reaper is close to finishing, he'll dive on out of there. Now two SCVs have to try and shoo this guy away. DnS just trying to be as much of a pain as possible. So now a Nexus on the way for DnS. And then, so yeah, standard expo build while being a nuisance on souL's side of the map. But both these guys, very good players, so it's not like souL gonna be losing SCVs or anything like that. And then we'll just have to see what's gonna be going on next. I mean, we do have the cybernetics core on the way for DnS, and this pylon in the right makes me think he's gonna be sort of hiding tech a little bit, because this is a kind of odd place for a pylon. Looking at this, because I mean, sometimes you'd want him closer to your Nexus for sort of faster warpins, but yeah, this probe, he's up to no good. He's going to be building a Stargate, just trying to keep it fairly at the back of the base so it's not easy for the Reaper to scout it or for anything else to scout it. But we will see, is souL going to be able to spot this with his Reaper? He's actually coming on in. It may actually just be a perfect angle for him. He's hanging out, but yeah, he actually scouts along the back of the base. And does he see that Stargate? He doesn't yet. And the Adept's coming on in. Oh, is he actually just going to lose it? No, he gets on out and he doesn't see the Stargate. I mean, you can kind of expect a Stargate in TvP these days, but he was like an inch away from that if we check his vision. Yeah, look at that. Just not quite able to see it there. And now the Reaper, it's trying to get on by, but the Adept actually shades right by it. There's another Adept there, though. So this Reaper might not be able to escape right now. Meanwhile, DnS's other Adept is moving across the map. souL's going to have to pull some mad jukes, but the Reaper does go down without the Scout. And so souL a little bit in the dark, and this Adept, usually the Reaper does help out killing the Adept that's moving across the map, but souL could be caught off guard a little bit here. Doesn't actually, or raises those depots at the last second, had me worried there. But two Hellions are out. He's now getting up a Widow Mine, some Marines. But this Oracle is on the way, so we'll see if he's going to take any critical damage to this or get any counter damage done. He's going to run right into this Adept with these Hellions. Actually just going to skirt right on by it. There's two Adepts, so make that three Adepts, sort of just boxing these Hellions on in. I doubt they're going to get too much damage done. Probes being pulled. Looks like souL getting two probes, but I doubt he's going to get too much more, and actually settling for a Scout. Going to get on into the base, sort of just pull DnS around a bit. But meanwhile, this Oracle should be out on the map. Wait, where's that Oracle out? Okay, is it just finishing up here? Or did that... It didn't die, did it? No. Okay, yeah, Oracle just finishing up, pardon me. I thought that would have been done by then, but now just popping out for DnS. But I believe souL didn't scout it. No, so he's still in the dark. This Oracle is moving across the map for DnS. So we'll see what it's going to be able to get done. It's just going to be flying on in. Whereas at souL's side of the base, he does have the Viking, which can shoot away. Oracles can sort of tank the damage a little bit. But I'm looking for this Widow Mine right now. That Widow Mine is at the front, so this Oracle's going to come in, but it sees the Viking, and it just tries to get on out. So nothing with this Oracle so far for DnS, and the Cyclone actually gets a lock on. So Oracle going to take a bit of extra damage there. Hides in the high ground vision blocker, but gets a revelation off on that army. So far, DnS not getting too much damage done with this Oracle. The Viking's actually moving out for souL now. But there is a Phoenix out on the map. But yeah, Viking and a Phoenix. I mean, This could actually, or a Viking and a Liberator, this could actually be such a sick play coming out of souL, because the Viking beats a Phoenix in a head-on fight, and so the Phoenix was there to try and deal with the Liberator, but this is actually such a smart play coming out of souL. Another Phoenix is on the way, but there's no Stalkers or anything just yet, so the one Phoenix not going to be able to come back to deal with this, so Stalker warping is forced, and now these units are going to get on out of there. So just a bit of denied mining time. And we see from the fact that these guys aren't really, the fact that they're not really getting significant blows on each other is because they're at such a high level. They're both so solid. Now, souL is going to try and get something else done. He's got a Cloak Banshee on the way, but it is tagged. Had those little spheres over it. And look at that. souL just going for the bait there. Does cancel the Cloak Banshee and just going to be playing heavy on his bio here. He has yet to start Stim, but there's Stim and Combat Shield on the way, getting up a third CC. So this is just going to be a straight-up macro game, guys. Now, as far as DnS goes, he's also just pretty happy to macro up. It looks like getting +1 charge, playing Phoenix, which isn't usually an all-in sort of style. But, I mean, he is getting up a few more gateways, so he will have up a good number of that, but not an all-in number, just 6. So both these guys happy to play a macro game here, which is making me really excited to see how it's going to go. Widowmine's moving out for souL, just going to try and catch anything but that Oracle. Flying the right path. Oh, Oracle. It's making me nervous. It's going to fly on over these Marines, gets a tag off. Actually finds the command center, but doesn't have the energy. And oh, this mine is not quite in the right spot. Oh, maybe DnS knows about it, or can sort of see the outline there, but not flying over that mine. Now, back at home, DnS playing it very defensive, continuously producing Phoenix, now getting up a Robo. This Liberator is out on the map for souL. Not sure he's going to go on in yet, because DnS is playing very defensive. He doesn't just want to throw it away, so it is hanging out for now. He may send that in just a little bit. But for now, back at home, just getting up Stim, getting up Combat Shield, getting up +1. So these guys really going into a macro game, and no one's really in the lead here. I mean, the Protoss had his third base up a little bit quicker, but that's standard for Terran versus Protoss. But now souL's powering up in his bio. And the one thing that's concerning for DnS in this game is that he has gone just for mass sort of Zealots, mass gateway units. He's got the Phoenix to help out, but his sort of later tech, like Disruptors or Colossus, the robotics bait is just on the way now, and souL's going to be moving out pretty soon here. So this army could be a little bit scary depending on how well souL micros it. Meanwhile, these Phoenix could maybe get on into this third base. These Oracles as well, a lot of energy on them. So this army gets tagged, but DnS, he could possibly get some damage done here, but he does have to prepare for this attack that's coming his way. He expanded to the right, so souL's not going to be able to just quickly hit this base, but here comes on in souL, and I mean, he's got a pretty scary army. He's up on army supply. We'll see. Is DnS going to be able to hold whatever he's thrown in? souL wanting to boost on in there and unload, trying to get a drop-off, but DnS definitely ready for that with his Phoenix. souL not able to get anything done. Liberator's coming on into the third base, gets a few kills there, which is very nice for him. souL also still just wanting to commit to this drop. He's an absolute madman, unloading right in the face of these Phoenix. And look at this, souL just says, I don't care, I'm unloading this bio. You're not going to be able to defend it. And now suddenly there's a large bio force in the base of DnS. Liberator getting harassment done while this is going on. I mean, DnS, he's in a lot of trouble right now. He's down on army supply. We'll see if he's able to clean this up. The Phoenix are there, which can help shut down future drops. The army is pulled back, but now souL coming on in with this army at the third base. DnS going to be taking one hell of a beating. A big Zealot warping coming in to help try and clean this up. Widowmine's wandering in there. That needs to get burrowed. While that's going on, souL just getting a lot of damage done here, though. Kiting, I mean, his drop was forced back. It looks like most of the army was cleaned up, but he's coming in with more. That Widowmine not burrowing, though, actually a bit of a mistake. Could have gotten a lot of damage done there, but a few more mines coming on in here. Gonna pick off some of these units. So souL getting a nice bit of damage done there, but DnS did manage to hold it. He lost 18 probes in total. But he is reaching that scarier army. He's getting out double Colossus. He has yet to start extended thermal lance. You want to get that on the way if you're the Protoss player, but he's managed to hold on, survive, and eventually souL is going to have to come up with something, because double Colossus, I mean, 2 + 2 is 4, and so that's how many DnS is going to have in bio. Really struggles versus that amount of Colossus. 1 or 2 you can engage, but anything sort of at 3 and beyond gets a little dicey for Terran. But souL, he wants to keep playing on the aggression, probably going to continue on with the drops here, but Look at this, DnS really anticipating this, warping Zealots into the main base, and dropping on top of Zealots is hard for the Terran. souL planning another drop while this is going on. Getting up his 4th base, which is also something I like to see. Got that on the way, so not just completely committing all in here, but DNS's army is pretty scary. souL is going to have to get into Vikings or something else in order to deal with this. And look at this, DnS making use of his double robo. He's got out the 2 Colossus, well, he's got out 4 Colossus, 2 at each base. Actually, such a sick defensive positioning, but now he's going into disruptors here, which don't take the usual counters. Widowmine actually gets a pretty nice connection there. And now we see souL comes on in with a nice drop here, but there is this army. It's going to recall right now, and souL actually losing a fair few units. Phoenix is going to be able to get on top of this. Going to have to unload that medivac there. So souL trying to get something done here because he knows that he doesn't want to let the Protoss reach his sort of, you know, happy place. A drop going off at the 3rd base is nice, forcing probes off the line right now. Not getting too many kills, though. Going to be able to focus down a few, but get on out of there. But so far, not getting the damage he done once. Focuses down the 2 disruptors. Very nice. That was actually so scary for souL. I mean, if we were to go back and look at that, that would have been so dicey, but taking such a nice fight there. Now, while he's trying to continue on engaging this, only 2 of the Colossus are here, but it looks like there's enough of a buffer. The Phoenix helping on out, so souL just going to trade out with the ground units, but the Colossus stay alive, which is important for DNS. Another drop, souL just... I mean, I was watching his last game, he was just all over, continuing on with the aggression. He's coming on in once again, gonna start focusing down some probes, nicely done. Gonna load up into that medivac and get on out of there, so keeping the pressure on DNS, but army supply is equalized. DNS has an upgrade lead for now, but souL is getting up his 4th base, which is very nice for him, whereas DNS, his 4th is also just building, whereas souL's is already becoming a planetary. So souL in a very good economic position right now. He's up on workers, so he's going to have a much more healthy economy, whereas DNS back at home, he's taken a fair few losses. We've seen 34 probes go down this game. DNS has been playing very solid, managing to sort of keep the ball rolling, not get too say, knocked over, as souL hasn't just been able to kill him, but he's been standing strong versus this. However, souL's gotten a good bit of damage done. But the Protoss army is still pretty strong. DNS getting up these disruptors, that AoE, which can really be the comeback unit here. He's also continuing on building up a few more probes, so that count looking a lot more healthy. But souL, he's building up a pretty scary army, getting up a lot of Colossus in order to help deal with the Vikings. So the main threat, or a lot of Vikings to deal with the Colossus, the main threat will be the disruptors, though, because they don't care about upgrades. I mean, they're more happy to kill off the bigger your army is just because of that mass AoE. So we'll see. I mean, souL's big bio ball could be in a lot of trouble versus him. It really will come down to the engagement. But yeah, as far as this game goes, Advanced Ballistics on the way. Liberators really are the counter to disruptors, but Templar Archives on the way. DNS, every Protoss in the late game wants to get Storm, and DNS knows this, but he's also doing a good job spotting this drop. Doesn't want to take any further damage or anything like that, so that Zealot gonna have to get cleaned up before souL can move out on the map once more. DNS's army, though, I mean, he's got the 4 Colossus, he's got sentries, but it's not looking too scary without the disruptors in it. But there they are. DNS's army now looking pretty scary. Players are equal on supply, but with the AoE and the more disruptors, it becomes harder for the Terran not to take significant hits. But souL, he's got these Liberators up, gonna be hanging on here and actually getting in with the Vikings. Nicely done. DNS, though, he's ready to storm on in here. He's got a good number of Stalkers if he can get an engagement off. He's also got the Disruptors. Losing the Viking, or the Colossus, not the biggest deal. I mean, the Vikings getting some nice shots off for souL. Only 2 Colossus left. Disruptors getting out a lot of Novas. souL is kiting back, though. Force fields preventing him from diving on top of this army. That and the Disruptors. So DNS engaging on in here, taking the better fight. The Liberators have been cleared. souL producing a lot more, and he's got a nice concave going on, though. He knows that he can't just take a straight up fight. He can't just move into this army. He's got to be very careful engaging, and because of these Novas, doing a good job not taking any hits just yet. And he's actually planning a drop immediately, just saying, right, I gotta go, I gotta get something else done, because engaging this army is going to be pretty tough. If he gets the planetary up, that'll be very nice for him. But this army, it's coming on in here. The 3rd base, It's going to have to be evacuated. SCVs are running for their lives. A drop is moving in for souL. He can maybe cancel this 5th base. However, he does have to deal with this army eventually. And actually, his army, pretty big miscontrol there. Gets the 2 Colossus, though, after sort of just walking in there and gets out with the army, making the best of a bad situation there. He's also got these Liberators on their way out, but they are misrallied into the Stalkers, and the Liberators are so critical here. So he doesn't want to lose those. He wants to turn them around right now. He also did cancel that 5th base, but DnS ready to prevent any further damage. So this game is kind of going crazy. And look at this. DnS actually recalls after forcing the 3rd base off. Sees this drop, just wants to shut it down, and does so. souL just sort of taking a trade, but now we see DnS, he's up on supply, whereas souL, he was the guy who was ahead now, and DnS took a fantastic fight. The saving grace for souL is this planetary that he kept alive. DnS, I don't even think he's seen this base, or he has, so he knows souL has another base, but the 3rd base was forced off for a while. The 5th base was completely killed, so DnS, he may have managed to hold on. I mean, getting those disruptors, he's got a lot of disruptors and stalkers, which is a pretty fragile army composition, but so many disruptors. souL will have a tough time engaging this. Archon's also gonna make that the case. Very hard to dive on top of those. souL, though, is building up a very healthy Liberator count, but there's so many Stalkers for DnS, so I'm not sure it's going to be enough. On the map right now, there's 18 Stalkers versus 4 Liberators. I mean, Liberators are good, but they are not that good. So we shall see. +3 on the way. souL does have 3-3 versus what's going to be 3-2, so he does have a slight upgrade advantage, but this last fight really could come down to everything. Liberator's getting set up, which is very nice for souL. However, he's got to be careful not to eat too many Novas or anything like that. Well, he wants to push in, but the Tempest are here, and the Tempest can actually begin working when these Liberators, and that sort of adds on an extra tier. It really changes the dynamic, as souL doesn't have the safety of these Liberators, and definitely the Tempest able to start focusing down some of these Disruption Novas. DnS just staggering them perfectly, so souL can't dive on in here. And I mean, he can hold this position because Tempest kill these units pretty slowly, but yeah, it's looking pretty rough for souL. He doesn't have another drop going on. There's also Zealots in his natural base. He does have reinforcements to clean that up, but the main army, he's trying to go for it. He's trying to get a fight right now, but it's so risky. Disruption Nova's going out. Good kite back so far, not taking too significant losses. More Liberators getting set up, but so many Novas going out for DnS, just connecting, getting massive shots off. Just DnS not sort of faltering in his unit control right now. Liberator's getting set up. souL trying to get anything he can, but his army is too small. GG gets called. DnS takes the game. So that was an awesome game to cast, guys. Thanks for watching it. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, just to sort of talk about the match a little bit, what we see is that DnS, he was taking a fair bit of damage there, but he had a goal in mind. He wanted to reach that later Protoss army, and he did a good enough job with the defense. He took a fair bit of damage. I mean, a lot of probes died in this game, but based on the fact that he stayed alive, he never fell below that 50 number, in which it really starts to snowball. And then souL just wasn't teching hard enough, I guess, into the sort of anti-late game Protoss army, which would have been more Liberators, maybe Ghosts. He tried his best, but DnS ultimately winning out there with his very strong army and very good unit control. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like. Feel free to subscribe. I'm always putting out more of that content. Otherwise, I shall see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.